Chosen one, listen closely. What I speak now is not a mere suggestion or encouragement. It is a final declaration over your life. The time for subtle signs has ended. The era of gentle warnings is over. God has spoken again and again. Yet your feet remain unmoved, your words choked behind excuses, and your spirit suffocates in hesitation. The moment of decision is no longer ahead of you, it is beneath you. You are standing on the line. Every breath you take without response is a verdict, etched into the air. Every second you delay is mercy slipping into silence. This is not the beginning of your story, it is the reckoning. You must feel it now, the pressure on your chest, the ache gnawing at your ribs in the stillness of night, the quiet that surrounds you, not as comfort, but as a suffocating reminder that your silence has gone too far. You prayed for confirmation, it came. You begged for clarity, it arrived. You demanded timing, it was declared, and yet you stand still. What you've labeled caution is, in fact, rebellion. What you call discernment is disobedience. Heaven is not fooled. You were never chosen to live in comfort. You were not called to be idle while destiny waits. That fire burning beneath your hesitation is not anxiety or fear, it is the groaning of unfulfilled purpose, clawing at the walls of your spirit, demanding release. But release requires movement, and movement demands a response. Chosen one, neutrality is no longer an option. You cannot stand in the middle, wavering between obedience and delay. You cannot dance along the line of calling and complacency. The divine does not stretch timelines for convenience. The doors carved for your arrival are not eternal. Sacred spaces cannot tolerate passivity. You've convinced yourself there's still time. You've whispered that tomorrow is safer, that another sign will come. But signs have been flooding your life like storms, the dreams that wake you in cold sweat, the relationships crumbling under unseen pressure, the divine unrest that claws at your spirit every time you close your eyes. These are not coincidences. These are alarms, blazing, roaring, undeniable alarms, demanding your obedience. Still, you hesitate. Still, you barter with heaven, offering delay disguised as prayer, hiding beneath the illusion of caution. But, chosen one, every second you delay, you unravel the very alignment that was meant to propel you forward. You were formed to ignite, to disrupt. You were chosen to roar when others retreat, but silence has betrayed your assignment. Now, the clock strikes its final hour. This is the season where mercy has conditions, where divine favor aligns with obedience, not waiting. You were not chosen to observe. You were created to act. You were marked not for suggestion, but for instruction, and when instruction is ignored, protection retracts. When obedience is delayed, purpose decays. The ache you carry is not confusion, it is the byproduct of disobedience, the grief of a calling silenced by comfort, and with every moment you hesitate, the atmosphere adjusts. The people tied to your assignment walk into storms they were never meant to face alone. The territories, designed for your authority, remain locked behind your silence. The miracles assigned to your obedience wither beneath the dust of delay. You were sent as a weapon, a vessel, a sound. Yet every time you mute your roar, the enemy grows bolder. Each moment you refuse to rise, darkness celebrates, and heaven waits not forever, but long enough for the consequences to unfold. Chosen one, the divine has spoken not in riddles, not in mysteries, but with clarity. You've asked for signs and they came. You begged for more time and it passed. You demanded another confirmation and it arrived. And now, every delay you entertain is betrayal, disguised as caution. You cannot expect divine alignment while resisting divine command. You cannot beg for overflow while remaining anchored in passivity. The fire you feel suffocating your chest is not a burden, it is a warning. A final echo of heaven's voice pressing against your hesitation, demanding obedience. The windows of opportunity stretch only so far. The alignment crafted for your advancement waits only so long now. The edges of that alignment tremble beneath the weight of your delay. Do not deceive yourself. You are not in a holding pattern. You are in the final moments before divine withdrawal, the space where silence thickens, not as peace, but as consequence. You prayed for direction, it was given. You pleaded for answers, they were delivered, and still, you stalled. Chosen one, neutrality is no longer tolerated. The battlefield does not honor spectators. You are armed with authority, cloaked in calling, saturated in assignment. Yet, you shrink beneath the weight of your own hesitation, but every second you remain still. You erode the foundation crafted for your impact. The divine does not beg, heaven does not plead. When the time arrives, it demands a response. And now, that time has arrived. You are not preparing for the moment. You are standing inside it. The ground beneath your feet is the threshold. The atmosphere pressing against your spirit is the final alarm. Every delayed step aligns with your own replacement. Make no mistake, the chosen are not irreplaceable. The assignment will advance. The mission will proceed. The only question is, will your name still be written within that advancing narrative, or will you become a monument to what could have been? Have you ever wondered what happens when the sound buried inside you rots beneath your silence? Chosen one, the weight pressing against your chest is not confusion. It is destiny suffocating while you hesitate. You were never marked to retreat. You were crafted to fracture the atmosphere. If these words strike the ache you've been hiding, comment below. I refuse replacement. Let heaven hear your defiance and subscribe now, because this platform speaks to the fire within you, not your comfort. Your silence invites erasure. Your obedience ignites awakening. Decide now, before the silence buries you. You feel it, the weight, the ache, the suffocating quiet that once comforted you, now pressing with urgency. That is not random. That is divine frustration roaring against your passivity. You have convinced yourself that there is safety in stillness, but stillness is surrender. Delay is disobedience, and disobedience dismantles destiny. Chosen one, you were never meant to blend into shadows. You were forged to fracture darkness. You were carved to awaken atmospheres. You were chosen to ignite fires where silence once reigned. But your hesitation has suffocated your authority. Your silence has muted your assignment, and now, heaven watches not with pity, but with expectation. The next sound, the next step, the next breath of obedience is yours to release, but the window is narrowing. The patience of heaven wears thin. The doors carved for your arrival creak beneath your delay. And soon, if your silence persists, the atmosphere will adjust without you. The mission will be handed to another. The sound assigned to your life will roar from the lips of one willing to obey. Do not romanticize delay. Do not entertain the lie of endless opportunity. The divine is strategic. The kingdom is precise. And your hesitation fractures more than your future. It suffocates the destinies tethered to your obedience. You are not isolated. Your assignment is woven into the fabric of generations. Your silence echoes beyond your lifespan. The souls assigned to your voice remain bound beneath. Your stillness and the miracles crafted for your alignment wither beneath the dust of your delay. Chosen one, the time is no longer tomorrow. It is now. The decision is not forthcoming. It is present. You stand upon the line, not near it. And every moment you hesitate, you drift further from the divine current crafted for your advancement. Do not confuse divine patience with passive tolerance. Do not mistake comfort for alignment. The ache within you is the final alarm of heaven. The suffocating weight is the erosion of mercy beneath hesitation. The atmosphere has shifted. The alignment awaits. The assignment trembles beneath your silence. And the divine is no longer whispering. It has spoken. The next move is not heaven's, it is yours. Respond now, before the silence consumes what remains of your calling. Chosen one, listen. Your stillness is not neutral. Your silence is not protection. Every moment you stand frozen beneath the weight of your calling, you are not safe. You are exposed. You have convinced yourself that waiting is wisdom, that hesitation is discernment. But heaven does not confuse disobedience with caution. The divine is not deceived by delay, disguised as spiritual strategy. You were never designed to survive in hesitation. You were formed for movement, for sound, for disruption. And yet, your silence has betrayed the very design heaven wove into your being. You feel it now, don't you? The tightness in your chest, the heaviness pressing against your ribs that are not random. That is the suffocation of destiny beneath your delay. Make no mistake, you are not chosen for silence. You are not marked for stillness. You were crafted to ignite, to awaken, to fracture systems built on fear and passivity. But your hesitation has dulled your edge. Your inaction has weakened your influence. And now, every moment you remain frozen, the atmosphere shifts not in your favor, but in alignment with your delay. The divine has spoken. The commands have echoed through your spirit. The signs have surrounded your atmosphere. You prayed for confirmation, it came. You begged for clarity, it was delivered. You demanded timing, it arrived. And still, you stand. Still. Stillness is no longer a strategy. It is surrender. It is silent rebellion wrapped in spiritual reasoning. You must understand the cost of delay. Every second you hesitate, the alignment designed for your advancement deteriorates. The doors crafted for your obedience creak under the weight of your refusal to move. The people tethered to your assignment wander through storms they were never meant to face alone. The miracles assigned to your footsteps wither beneath your hesitation. Chosen one, this is not punishment, it is consequence. Heaven does not rearrange divine strategy to accommodate human comfort. The mission will proceed with or without your participation. The only question that remains is, will your name still be written within the unfolding narrative, or will your delay rewrite your destiny? As a warning, not a wonder, do not be deceived. You are not in a holding pattern. You are in the final stages before divine withdrawal. The patience of heaven is not infinite. The windows of alignment are sacred, but they are not eternal. The divine has extended mercy beyond measure, but mercy has a lifespan. When met with constant hesitation, you prayed for more signs. They came. You begged for more time. It passed. You pleaded for another confirmation. It arrived, and now, every moment you delay is not uncertainty, it is betrayal. Betrayal of the calling marked upon your life. Betrayal of the souls assigned to your obedience. Betrayal of the divine strategy woven through your existence. Chosen one, neutrality has expired. There is no more middle ground. You stand on the line, not near it. Every moment of hesitation is a step away from alignment, a drift from divine purpose, a retreat from destiny. You were formed to advance, to disrupt, and to awaken. But your silence has paralyzed your authority. Your delay has suffocated your assignment. The divine is no longer whispering. Heaven has spoken, not in riddles, not in mysteries, but in clarity. You know what to do. You have known for longer than you admit. The ache in your spirit, the unrest in your atmosphere, the heaviness in your chest, they are not coincidences. They are alarms roaring through your hesitation, demanding obedience. You cannot claim to be chosen while choosing silence. You cannot beg for advancement while remaining anchored in delay. The divine does not bless rebellion wrapped in religious language. Heaven does not fund hesitation disguised as humility. The ache you feel is not anxiety. It is divine frustration pressing against your disobedience. The suffocation within your chest is the weight of calling decaying beneath your refusal to act. You prayed for peace, but peace is not passive. Peace follows obedience, not delay. Chosen one, hear this clearly. Your stillness is costing more than you comprehend. It is not just your destiny at stake. The chains that were meant to break beneath your obedience remain intact. The territories designed for your authority remain locked. The souls tethered to your voice remain bound, and the miracles assigned to your movement wither in silence. You think you have time. You believe another opportunity will arise, but opportunities are not infinite. They are divine intersections crafted for obedience, not delay. The doors that remain open are not permanent. The windows that stretch for your advancement narrow with every moment of hesitation. You prayed for signs. They were given. You begged for clarity. It was granted. You demanded timing. It arrived. But now, every second you delay brings you closer to losing what you were meant to receive. Instruction is ignored. When that call is silenced by hesitation, the foundation of your purpose begins to crack. Every delay is a fracture, weakening the very alignment that was designed to propel you forward. Heaven has spoken, and now, the divine waits not with impatience, but with unwavering expectation. The sound, the movement, the obedience, those are yours to release. Yet, with every moment of silence, you relinquish the responsibility placed upon you. Do not romanticize delay. Do not hide behind false wisdom or misinterpret hesitation as caution. The divine does not tolerate indefinite hesitation. The mission will not be anchored in passivity. The kingdom cannot advance through stillness. You are not created to simply contemplate destiny. You were formed to disrupt it, to awaken it, to ignite it. But with every second of delay, your silence has suffocated your sound. Your hesitation has muted your roar, and your delay has dismantled the very alignment that was meant for you. Now heaven watches not with pity, but with expectation. The next sound is yours to release. The next step is your responsibility. The next movement must come from your obedience. But as time slips by, the window narrows and the patience of heaven stretches thin. The atmosphere is shifting, and if your silence persists, the assignment will proceed without you. The mission will be handed to another, the sound you refuse to release will roar from the lips of one willing to obey. Do not disguise rebellion as caution. The divine is strategic. The kingdom is precise. Your hesitation fractures more than just your future. It suffocates the destinies tethered to your obedience. You are not isolated. Your assignment is intricately woven into the lives of others, and your silence ripples through generations, affecting those whose lives are connected to your calling. Your delay is not just a personal consequence. It impacts those whose paths depend on your willingness to step forward. Chosen one, neutrality has expired. This is not preparation. This is the moment. You stand on the line. Every second you hesitate, you are aligning with your own replacement. The ache within you, the restlessness, the burden you feel, that is the final alarm of heaven. It is divine frustration demanding your obedience. The atmosphere has shifted. The alignment awaits, and the assignment trembles beneath your delay. The divine is no longer whispering. It has spoken. The clock does not stop for your fear. The timeline will not adjust to your insecurity. You know what has been spoken over your life. You know the weight pressing against your spirit. You know the ache suffocating your chest. That ache is not confusion, it is consequence. Every moment of hesitation adds to the burden of delay. You have stood still while destiny waited. You have disguised your rebellion as discernment, your hesitation as wisdom. But heaven is not deceived. God is not fooled by your excuses. Every moment you delay fractures the alignment heaven stretched for your arrival. The doors designed for your obedience are not eternal. The windows crafted for your advancement are sacred, but they are shrinking. The clock does not stop because you are afraid to move. The divine timeline does not bend to accommodate your insecurity. You were chosen for a reason, but chosen is not permission to pause indefinitely. It is a responsibility etched into the fabric of your existence. It is an instruction carved into your bones, and when that instruction is ignored, when that calling is delayed, when you refuse to step into the destiny crafted for you, the cost is far greater than you can imagine. You were formed to move, to act, to disrupt, chosen for more than complacency. Your moment is now. The window is closing. The time is running out. Responsibility rejected. Consequence arrives. But understand this, consequence is not always immediate. It does not always roar like thunder or shatter like glass. Sometimes it creeps silent, suffocating, subtle. You feel it in the closing doors, in the opportunities that slip through your hands like vapor, in the divine connections that wither without warning. You feel it when the atmosphere grows heavy, when your prayers echo in empty spaces, when your spirit feels disconnected from the very presence that once saturated your existence. You've called this warfare. You've labeled it a spiritual attack. Chosen one, hear me now. This is not the enemy invading your life. This is consequence. This is heaven stepping back. This is the natural order of delayed obedience, unraveling your alignment. You prayed for more time. You begged for more signs. You demanded another confirmation. But heaven does not stretch mercy for the unwilling. You were given direction. You received instruction. You felt the fire burn beneath your hesitation, and still, you stalled. But now, the delay carries weight. The silence around your life is no longer peace, it is the evidence of disconnection. The heaviness upon your chest is no longer divine prompting. It is the suffocation of neglected purpose. Chosen one, your hesitation is not isolated. Your delay is not contained. Every moment you stand still ripples through the lives of those assigned to your obedience. The people you were crafted to awaken remain bound beneath your silence. The atmospheres you were formed to shift remain stagnant in your absence. The miracles tethered to your movement wither beneath your refusal to act. This is the true cost of delay. It is not just your destiny at risk. It is generations tied to your obedience. It is territories crafted for your authority. It is legacies woven into your assignment, and your silence is unraveling them thread by thread. You have convinced yourself there is still time. You have entertained the lie that hesitation is harmless. But chosen one, neutrality expired the moment the divine spoke. You were not created to observe. You were not marked to wait. You were chosen to act, to ignite, to disrupt. And every moment you delay is a step toward replacement. Yes, replacement. The divine is not desperate. The kingdom is not held hostage by your fear. If you refuse to rise, another will. If you refuse to roar, another will echo. If you refuse to move, heaven will reroute the mission, and the alignment you neglected will fall upon one willing to obey. You feel it now. don't you? The ache growing heavier, the frustration pressing against your spirit, the suffocating weight in your atmosphere. This is not punishment. It is heaven's final alarm. It is the last echo of mercy before consequence takes its full shape. Make no mistake, you are standing in the final stretch of divine patience. The signs have been sent, the dreams have spoken, the alignments have shifted, the atmosphere has declared it, God has spoken. Your next step determines everything. You cannot bargain with the timeline. You cannot negotiate with destiny. The doors will not remain open while you debate your courage. The windows will not stretch forever while you argue with your fear. The divine is precise. The mission is strategic. And you, chosen one, have a decision to make. Delay again, and the consequence deepens. Stand still once more, and the atmosphere adjusts without you. Remain silent, and your voice will be replaced. You prayed for influence. You begged for opportunity. You demanded destiny, but destiny demands obedience. Influence requires response. Opportunity bows to movement. You cannot cling to purpose while suffocating it beneath your delay. You cannot carry calling while dismantling alignment with every hesitant breath. The ache you feel is not random. The suffocation pressing against your chest is not punishment. It is divine urgency demanding obedience. It is heaven leaning in, roaring for your response. Chosen one, the silence around your life is no longer divine stillness. It is the early evidence of consequence forming. It is the subtle unraveling of alignment, and soon, if you refuse to move, the silence will become absence. The disconnection will become distance. The frustration will become final. You have asked for signs. They came. You begged for confirmation. It echoed. You pleaded for more time. It expired. Now, only one thing remains: obedience. Every moment you delay is a step away from destiny, a drift from alignment, a retreat from purpose. The divine does not beg, heaven does not wait. The mission proceeds, the kingdom advances, the alignment adjusts. Will your name remain written within that narrative, or will your silence erase it? The next move is yours. Respond now, before the consequence consumes what remains of your calling. Chosen one, the hour is no longer waiting for your fear to subside. The timeline of heaven is not bending for your delay. You have mistaken this weight in your chest as pressure to be analyzed, but it is divine urgency roaring against your stillness. A moment you thought was far off is now under your feet. You are not walking toward a decision. You are standing in the aftermath of refusing to make one. Heaven is not repeating itself. The signs have been sent. The silence that surrounds you now is not stillness. It is consequence thickening. You have entertained the lie that neutrality is safe. But neutrality has become rebellion cloaked in religious language. Delay is no longer misunderstood. It is judged. You cannot wait forever. While purpose collapses beneath your excuses, you are not sculpted to linger in shadows. You were not designed to tiptoe near destiny. You were crafted to roar into rooms bound by fear, to ignite atmospheres addicted to apathy. But silence has inverted your design. Your sound has been buried beneath the weight of hesitation, and heaven is shifting in response. A line has already been drawn beneath you, not ahead. Every second you breathe in hesitation, every heartbeat that refuses to move, rewrites the scroll that once carried your name in bold. And soon, if your silence continues, the assignment will be transferred. Not because heaven is cruel, but because heaven is holy. The divine will not risk its strategies on the unwilling. You prayed for clarity, it came. You asked for confirmation, it echoed through every fiber of your atmosphere. You demanded more signs, they shattered your routines. And now, the silence that presses against your spirit is not mystery. It is the echo of what could have been if you had moved when you were told to rise. Chosen one, this is not a moment of contemplation. It is a threshold. The atmosphere does not feel heavy by accident. The pressure is not random. The unrest is not a test. These are the final tremors before replacement. You are standing inside the space where destiny unravels, not because it was flawed, but because it was delayed. The divine is not passive. The kingdom is not sentimental. Heaven will not cling to a vessel more in love with safety than obedience. You think your delay is personal, but it is public in the spirit. The realm of the unseen has already begun adjusting. The assignments are shifting. The hosts assigned to your path now wait, not with patience, but with new instructions. Should your silence persist, the mission will move forward without you. You were chosen, yes, But chosen does not mean guaranteed. Chosen means responsible. Chosen means accountable. And accountability does not excuse rebellion disguised as waiting on God. Let this be clear. You were created to disrupt timelines, not distort them. You were formed to break strongholds, not fortify them with your inaction. Every moment you hesitate, you strengthen the systems you were born to dismantle. Do you not see it? The opportunities once drawn to your name now drift away. The alignments that once pulsed with promise now shrank in silence. The doors that once flew open now creak shut inch by inch. And your delay is the hand pushing them closed. This is not spiritual attack. This is divine order being maintained without your cooperation. Heaven has given you space. Grace has lingered longer than it should have. But now, the timeline narrows. The divine hourglass pours the last grains of opportunity. Each one falls, not on your preparation, but on your refusal. Chosen one, you are not being punished. You are being bypassed. Not because you weren't capable, but because you chose comfort over calling, delay over destiny, hesitation over obedience. And when chosen ones refuse to carry the fire is handed to another. This is not theory. This is the law of replacement, a sacred principle woven into the foundation of time. The divine will never be. It will assign, and if the assigned delays, it will reassign. You were once ahead, but your delay has made you fall behind in a race no one else could run but you. Now, heaven is no longer holding the door. It waits for no one, not even the chosen. This is your final tremor. The last warning before the silence becomes cement. Before the ache in your spirit becomes absence. Before the fire becomes only a memory. Chosen one, listen well. You have stood still long enough. The mercy extended has been costly, and the assignment now trembles in uncertainty, not because heaven is unsure, but because heaven prepares to move. You must rise. You must roar. You must break the silence before the silence replaces you. The next move is not God's, it is yours. Chosen one, hear this with your spirit wide awake. You are no longer approaching the line. You are standing on it. The time of divine whispers has ended. A season of gentle nudges has passed. God has spoken. Heaven is not repeating itself. The only sound left is your reaction or your rebellion. You think the silence is God being distant, but silence now is not absence. It is judgment preparing to unfold. You have delayed long enough. Your stillness is no longer protection. It is spiritual erosion. Your hesitation is dismantling the very assignment heaven stretched over your life. Every moment you resist obedience, the atmosphere shifts. The doors meant to open with your arrival creak beneath your delay. The souls tied to your voice remain shackled in darkness. The miracles waiting for your movement wither in the silence of your rebellion. This is not fear-mongering. This is truth, brutal, clear, divine truth. You prayed for clarity. It came. You begged for timing. It arrived. You demanded signs. They echoed through every fiber of your being. And now, every second you hesitate is not wisdom. It is disobedience. Chosen one, neutrality expired when heaven declared your assignment. You cannot blend into shadows. You cannot hide beneath comfort. You are crafted to disrupt, to ignite, to awaken, but your delay is muting your sound. Your hesitation is suffocating your authority. And soon, the alignment will not wait. The mission will not pause. The kingdom will advance with you or without you. You feel the weight. You sense the atmosphere, trembling. That is not anxiety. That is consequence pressing against your chest. Heaven is not negotiating anymore. The divine is observing. The next move is not God's, it is yours. Respond, or prepare to watch your assignment ignite in the hands of another. Chosen one, hear this clearly. This is no longer a moment of waiting. You are not being offered more time. You are not being extended another round of mercy dressed as delay. You have crossed the line. You are standing inside the consequence of hesitation. God has spoken. The heavens have thundered. The atmosphere has shifted. And now, the only voice left to sound is yours, or the voice of another carrying what you refuse to release. You feel the weight, the ache behind your ribs, the suffocating pressure pressing against your chest. That is not random discomfort. It is destiny collapsing under the weight of your silence. You have been worn through dreams, through delays, through the unraveling of alignments you once thought were unable. Every sign was sent, every confirmation delivered. But still, you hesitated. You stood still when you were told to rise. You whispered excuses when heaven demanded obedience. But listen carefully. The The silence that surrounds you now is not safety. It is spiritual exposure. It is heaven stepping back not to abandon, but to reveal the cracks your delay has carved. Into your foundation, chosen one, neutrality is gone. You are either aligned or you are adrift. You are either moving or being moved out of the way. The kingdom does not stall for hesitation. The divine timeline does not bend for fear. The mission advances with you or without you, and if not with you, then through another. That is the verdict. Though no one wants to speak it aloud, chosen does not mean irreplaceable. That calling ignored becomes calling reassigned. That destiny delayed becomes destiny lost. You prayed for God to speak again, but He has already spoken. His words surrounded your spirit. His instructions carved themselves into your bones. His signs filled the atmosphere. And still, you delayed. Now heaven is silent, not because the divine has abandoned you, but because the divine is observing. The next sound is yours, or your replacement's. The ache you carry, the pressure behind your ribs, the frustration in your atmosphere is not confusion. It is consequence. It is heaven's final warning system, echoing within your spirit. Make no mistake, you are not safe in stillness. You are not protected by passivity. You are exposed by your refusal to obey. You think you have more time, but time in the spiritual realm is not measured by human calendars. It is counted in obedience, and your delay has drained the clock. The doors designed for your advancement creak under the weight of your refusal. The alignment crafted for your elevation fractures with every breath wasted on hesitation. You were chosen to disrupt. You were marked to ignite. You were sent to awaken, but your silence has muted your sound. Your hesitation has suffocated your authority, and now, you stand at the final intersection. The next move determines everything. You can no longer linger between calling and comfort. You can no longer entertain the lie that more signs are coming. You are the sign. Your movement is a confirmation. Your obedience is the activation. Or your replacement is. You must choose now response or removal. There is no third option. The mission will proceed. The kingdom will advance. The atmosphere will shift. And your name will either echo within that advancement or fade into the archives of what could have been. Chosen one, the ache you carry, the unrest within your spirit, the tension in your atmosphere, they are not punishment. They are consequence preparing to solidify. They are heaven's final attempt to ignite your obedience. But final means final. You stand upon the verdict. God has spoken. Now move, before silence becomes your sentence. Chosen one, you still feel it, don't you? That quiet trembling under your ribs, that aches clawing at your chest, like something ancient fighting to break free. That's not fear. That's not doubt. That is the final sound of destiny knocking before the door seals shut. You have hesitated long enough. You have stalled beneath the illusion that tomorrow will offer what today demands. But heaven does not wait for your comfort. The divine does not pause for your insecurity. God has spoken. His words still echo through the cracks of your delay, but they will not echo forever. The atmosphere is shifted. The assignment is trembling. The alignment is unraveling, thread by thread. You are out of time for indecision. You are out of space for rebellion disguised as hesitation. One step forward reignites your alignment. One more moment of stillness finalizes your replacement. The next sound is yours, or the silence that follows will not be emptiness. It will be elimination.